Hey, Nicholas with some more adventures in locksmithing. Locksmiths react to Hollywood. Last week we did part 1, looking at South Park into the Pandervers. If you didn't watch this, basically I recorded that video along with the video you're about to watch, and it ended up being an hour and 8 minutes. I've never released a video that long on this channel and didn't want to start that. So I decided to split it into 2. Catch up. Where are we at so far? Well, people just don't know how to do stuff, and they're frustrated. They look at the handyman or the locksmith or the electrician or the plumber, whichever, and they're supposed to be desperate for the work. Oh, you're busy? Well, here's an extra 20, here's an extra 50, here's a pack of beer, whatever, to be able to get you to do the work, put me at the front. And he's like, no, don't need it anymore. I am busy with the work. I gotta go help somebody else. And so now we're going to continue on. We're going to see this continue, but we're also going to see what has played into this mentality that suddenly took the service people who were once considered great, amazing jobs, and what turned them into a lowly job, and why people think this way, and how that illusion, what the Panderverse here is doing in their B story, is kind of doing that. So thank you for walking down that. I think these are important conversations that we need to have, and I think it affects the locksmith industry very big, and it also it affects pretty much all of the trade industries. So let's get into this to part 2 of Locksmiths React to Hollywood, South Park, the Pandervers.
Could you hurry it up, please? I kind of need to get back to work.
Well, looks like you got a short in the outlet there. Probably come change it on the 28th.
I'll give you $100 to get this done today.
I already got a fella giving me thousands to fix his toilet this afternoon.
I can't afford that.
Okay, now we see the next customer. The next customer, he's got an outlet. It's broken. Gonna have to go get a part at Home Depot again. And he says, but before he even says that, he's like, how long is this going to take? Hurry up. My time is more important than your time. And this is something that is probably my biggest pet peeve. When people waste my time. I am, and you see what he does, and then he's like, hey, I already got a guy paying me thousands to go fix his toilet. He's like, I can't afford that. I have competitors, and there's 2 ways to look at it. They have incredibly increased their price to the point it's almost ludicrous. But I have a hard time being a businessman like that. Like, I am too nice. It's like, hey, yeah. I look at it and I go, a key shouldn't cost $400. This key should be this. I can do it. It costs me, $140. I'm in and out making it in, an hour. So I'm going to add, $60 or $80 to that. And I'm waking away there. You're paying $200 and something. I'm only making $80. Like, most people go double the price of the remote and add the $80. That is almost like locksmith standard. That's why prices vary so much. Like, there's some people that are just charging for their time, and there's some people that are like getting full markup on stuff. And if you're good business, as far as like you want to make money, like, that's what you should do. Now, there is something to be said about word of mouth. Honestly, I should be probably doing somewhere in the middle, still being cheaper, still treating customers right, but treating myself a little bit better, and my business a little bit better. But the stuff that makes me want to do that, and the reason why a lot of people are doing that, is because people value their time more than yours. You're the handyman, you're the locksmith, you're the plumber, you're the electrician. Your time is not like their time. So what does that mean? You're 1 minute late for the appointment, and they're calling you. Are you actually going to show up today? Like, dude, man, I hit every red light on the way here, and I'm 2 minutes behind. I'm pulling up right now. You get there. Oh, yeah, I'm running a little bit behind. I'll be there in 10 minutes. 10 minutes go by. Yeah, I'm just down the road. Another 10 minutes go by. Oh, yeah, something came up, but I'm going to be heading there soon. Well, if you're not here in this time, I'm leaving, and I'm not coming back. Well, I don't know. What are you talking? As if somehow I didn't have anything else to do but sit out in front of their property or their business or whatever it is, waiting for them. Needing them to sign off on something. Gas station attendants, owners are the worst for this. You're trying to do billing, and they're like, okay, customer, yes, let me just help these customers. More people walk in the store, and it's just this constant, like, at a certain time, I sat there once, I took the bill, and I started writing in $15 for wait. Like, I got, a lot of times what I'll do is I'll get in line, and I'll say, hey, I wait in the line, I'm next, you pay me. But I had one time where, like, that he's like, I really, let me just help get this line down, let me get this line down. And so I sat there, and then I put plus $15 for this, crossed out the end total, added it, and he's doing it. He said, what are you doing? I said, I'm charging you for my time. He's, what? No, I didn't agree to that. It's like, I didn't agree to wait. I said, like, I don't mind you helping, like, oh, when I walked up, you had 2 customers in line, and you taking care of the customers there. Like, I'm respectful. Your customers are my customers. But if you've got a steady line of customers, I'm not going to sit here for 40 minutes waiting for you to have a dead spot in your day to pay me. It's like, I'll get in line. I'll wait in line just like everybody else. And then just like everybody else has to wait for the people in front of them in line, they're going to have to wait for you to pay me. But I'm not going to sit here and wait for the store to be completely empty before you pay me. Stuff like that. People will show up. Here's the job. This said, hey, I got to go run an errand, but I'll be right back. How long is it going to take you? I said, actually, this is pretty simple. This is taking me about 20 minutes. No problem. I will be back well before that. Well, you said you were going to go to here. That's like 20 minutes away. There's no way you're going to be back. I'll be back. Bye. And then they take off, and then you're sitting there waiting to get paid. You're calling, you're texting, and then they're not answering until they're on their way back. And they're, hey man, sorry, yeah, I got tied up, but I'm on my way there. Just stay right there. No, I already left. Oh, well, I need to get the keys. I said, well, I'm doing a job in another town now. We can make arrangements tomorrow to get them. No, I have to be in there tonight. I said, then you shouldn't have left. Or you should have been back when you said you'd be back. But my time is valuable. And, and he's like, well, you should have left the keys in. No, I wasn't giving them to you until you paid, because if you're this hard to finish the job and give you the keys to, once you have them, getting paid from you is going to be a nightmare. I have a customer. I hate doing work for him because he always has a reason why he can't, like, he sits up, yeah, I'll be there. And then I'll get there and he's not there. And I'll be waiting 5 minutes. Call him. Oh, yeah, see, something came up. I can't be out there today, but just go ahead and get it done. You know it's me. Yeah, I know it's you, which means I'm going to have to extinguish multiple hours of texting you, calling you, emailing you, mailing you invoices, and then drive somewhere to meet you. I've had times when I said, hey, where are you? And he's like, oh yeah, just come. I'm gonna be here. Okay, I will drive over there. Take me about 15 minutes to get there. I'm gonna head there right now. Get there. Oh man, we got done and I had to leave to the next thing. It's like my time's more valuable, and the more if you do that, if you treat me that way, the next time you call me out, and he's like, whoa, your price has increased. Well, yeah, I'm charging an extra $40 for the eventual having to try to get paid from you. Okay, well, if I pay you right now, do I have to pay that? Yeah, because you have a history of doing it. You've done it to me 3 or 4 times now. So even if you pay now, this is your new price because you've burned me in the past. See, I stick to my prices, but now before I do this work, my price is higher because there's a history with you of being a pain in the butt to get to pay. So you're going to pay more, and that's just this concept that my time is more valuable than your time. That is the number one thing that I think drives people in the handyman service just up the walls.
Excuse me, you're a handyman, right? Can I get you to come look at my oven door? I can trade you services. I have geology skills. Could you come fix my door and I'll give you some geology?
Love this. I have geology skills. Can you come fix this for geology? Like, they're it's people wanting work done out in the front of Home Depot, which is funny because I know my own. I know people who have like, oh, I'll just go over to Home Depot and get a handyman. Like, and it used to be like you could go and there'd be, you know, some immigrant workers looking for just, you know, days work when construction was up. That's where they would go. They would just go sit in front of the Home Depot and wait for some guy to go, hey, I need 10 guys to go dig a ditch. Hop in the back of the pickup. And now it's really going to come down. But can I trade you for geology? So we're getting to the reason why, like, people are learning all these skills that don't help them.
Hey, why don't you guys get out of here? You're making the Home Depot look all shitty.
Oh, this just made me laugh. It's like, hey, you guys clear out of here. You're making the Home Depot look bad. Because, like, that's the complaint that everybody gets about those workers is that they're sitting out in front and they're making the Home Depot look bad. Just, like, he's totally like, hey, man, this is not cool. Like, they're wanting to barter geology for you know, handyman service. So I just loved, I had to include that segment.
I could know how to fix stuff. The problem is when I could have been learning how to fix stuff, I went to fucking college instead.
Okay, so this is kind of the second thing that I kind of wanted to talk about when I saw this video. So here he's realizing he went to college, he got a degree in something, but it is not something that is productive towards anything that anybody would want to barter with. You know, he knows geology. Nobody needs a geologist. You're not going to swap, like, I'm a locksmith. I can swap work with a plumber or an electrician. Like, they don't know how to do what I do. I don't know how to do what they do. You know, we can swap work. It's something you can barter with. But, you know, geology. But here's the thing. If you were in school and you go, what do you want to do with your life? And you want to do any of the trades, the school would tell you that's a mistake. You need to go to college. You need to do a job that requires a minimum of a 4-year degree. And if you don't get a job that requires you a minimum of a 4-year degree, then you're a nothing. And that was made to me. So I did independent studies for high school. I did high school in 2 years, got my full credits. They weren't going to be willing to just graduate me based on that because I wasn't going to go to college. So I already knew that that wasn't for me from doing a few college courses online. And so then I decided I'm going to go out and get the California High School Proficiency Exam. That's kind of like a GED with honors. So it allows you to basically say that you are above the top 25% in the state testing-wise, and therefore you know your stuff and you can be considered graduated. So it's not a GED, but it is a similar of how you get it. You go and you take a test, but you have to now, you're graded on a curve. It isn't like you have to hit this score. You have to be in the top 25% of the state of everybody that, like, on their SATs and stuff like that. So it means that 75% of the people taking this, and you have to pay to take this test, 75% of the people are failing because you've got to be the top 25%. So it is a legitimate thing. When I was in school, they grounded it, even in junior high, they were grinding it into you about the college you got to pick out, the college. And we see right now in society, people want to get paid the government to pay off their student loans. And the thing is that that's just a Band-Aid on the problem. And a lot of people are like, oh, you just want stuff for free. I do kind of understand where these young ones are coming from. I'm in my late 30s. I was there. The teachers lie to you. The school, and they're not intending to, but it's the curriculum. They're told to tell youth that if you want to be anything, you have to go get a college degree, and without that, you don't want to be a construction worker. Construction workers are in pain. They got bad backs. This, that. It's horrible, hard work. You don't want to do that. You know what? They are right. Some construction workers, they work really hard. They jack up their body and stuff like that. They make great money doing it. And a lot of times they're happy and satisfied. They're doing stuff with their hands. And you know what else, though? You can go get that 4-year degree and sit at a computer all day. And you get fat, and you get lethargic, and, you die a heart attack young. But you come home, and you don't feel good, and you don't feel fulfilled, and it's hours of them. And you have overwhelming debt. Which of those is better? The thing that also would be is there would be students who would be C or below average students, and the teachers would be pushing them. You need to work harder because you've got to make it to college. I'm sorry, if you're a C average student, you shouldn't be going to college. You should be learning a trade, because academics is just not your thing. Now, there are people who are like the A++ students that go out and we need doctors, we need lawyers, we need this, but not everybody can be a CEO. Not everybody can make the basketball team. We have these days where schools are like, oh, everybody can be on the team. It's like, yeah, but everybody can't be in the NBA. There's got to be, there's certain standards here, and a lot of the youth, they're told, hey, you go achieve this, and you will instantly get a high-paying job. It's these jobs are in need. There's not enough people doing it. Go out and get this. The problem is there are more people getting these degrees than there are jobs for them. There's also the problem of some of the jobs that this degree will get you are not great jobs. They're not high-paying jobs. They're actually low-paying jobs. They're people who are, get degrees in computer graphics that are working on these Marvel movies, and they're barely making above minimum wage, and they're working double overtime because there's crunch, and the suicide rate among them is high, and all this stuff. It's like they beat themselves in college. I've got a friend, he's got a college degree, he's an amazing artist. He's so frustrated because he can't get a job, and he's applying everywhere. He's trying to get it. I know a guy that I went to school with. He was a C+ average student. He was an awful student, but he wasn't good at it. And he took 5 years to get a 4-year business degree, and he manages at McDonald's with a business degree. That's what he did with that. He thought he was going to be at some Fortune 500, in middle management, working his way up to upper management. It's like, no, you couldn't get above a C in math or English. There's no way you're climbing any corporate ladder. That just isn't happening. I don't care what your degree is. It is not going to work. There's going to be people who got that degree in the right number of years and were much better students and much better go-getters that actually enjoy that kind of work. That same guy could have gone out, picked up welding. He could have picked up welding and been making $40 an hour and doing great. That's the thing, is they push this college. It gets to me.
Yeah, he's right. We all went to college, and where did it get us? Yeah, I'm still paying off my college loans. Yeah, so am I. Now I don't know how to do anything because I got suckered into going to college, learning stupid geology.
So once again, these groups of individuals, he's I got suckered into going to college and learning geology. Now, here's the other thing, is that some of the courses now they're already these degrees that are needed for jobs, but they're crowded markets, and not only the cream of the crop are actually going to get those good paying jobs in that field. But then there's a whole bunch of degrees that are meaningless. Degrees in social studies, economics, not economic, history. There's so many degrees that, if you have a degree in theater and literature, I'm going to become a writer, I'm going to become a journalist, I'm going to, and you go and you get a degree in that. Like, a lot of these degrees don't mean squat. And now they're getting like really, really weird and specific in these degrees. They're not cheap. These are like, some of this stuff is like meant to be originally, like when it comes up, like, oh, this should be a fun elective class just because like you're interested in the subject or something like that. And now they're blown out of proportion. Like, college is just they're just about taking people's money, and they go, let's give an associate's or a bachelor's degree in this. Who needs 4 years of school to major in gender studies? Like, that's just no, that doesn't help. And that's the typical one that like people throw out there, but that is not the only ridiculous. Like, you can. And there are people who are career students, they're professors, they get tenure, they are people who study history and all that stuff. Well, there are archaeologists, there are these jobs, but some people, like, oh, I'm going to study literature. It's like, well, you can study Shakespeare, but, I mean, like, how many actors have studied Shakespeare as an elective stuff? Like, you major in that? What does that get you? Oh, I'm a major in, Shakespeare. Okay, what are you going to do with that? And so there's just, colleges are so predatory. And they're a necessary evil. Like, you need to go to college if you want to be a doctor. There are certain things that you have to go to college for. And they're only meant for certain people. But I've become personally so anti-college, seeing how predatory they are, seeing my peers that chose that life, seeing how much resistance. Thankfully, my parents were very supportive. They didn't actually want me to go to college. They like, hey, if you have a career, you have a thing you want to do, we'll help you figure out how to pay for classes and stuff like that, but we're not just sending you to college. You either need to go, this is what I want to do with my life, and then we'll see about, trade school, or if it is some college classes or whatnot, to get you on that path to teach you that skill. But we're not just going to send you to college. I was very thankful that was my parents' attitude, because that was not the attitude of my peers. They thought I was all stupid. That was not the attitude of my teachers. They thought I was throwing my life away. The school counselors, principals, all that. And even at my graduating speech, I remember the guy said, some of you will become successful in life. Some of you might become a banker or this, and he gave because I did independent studies, it was all the, teens who got pregnant or got expelled out of public school or whatnot were in my class. And he just talked down to us, but it was some of you will make it into college and make something of your life, was basically the speech he gave. It was so depressing. And the truth of the matter is, the people in the trades are the backbone of what makes things run. Just like farmers, farmers, construction, repair, mechanics, they're what make the world run. there are obvious benefits that come from, he's a geologist. Study of rocks, science, like, that's amazing things, and there definitely needs people in that. They find minerals with medicinal purposes, all sorts of things that come out of careers in that. But let's put it in realistic. If the world needs 1,000 geologists, it needs 1 million locksmiths. If the world needs, 1,000 people who can do Shakespeare, it needs 10 million electricians. It's however you want to put it. If the world needs somebody who, the world doesn't need 1,000 people that do gender studies, but let's be generous. Let's say the world needs 1,000 people that do gender studies. It needs at least 100 million or billion people that are in farming. It's like these industries. This is what makes the world go. This is what people need to do. This is and there's a value to that. And the moment society can only go so long saying that's a bare bones job. You could be a guy moving boxes at a warehouse. I had done that once. Guess what? Those guys, they're putting in hard work. They get paid a decent wage, and you can work your way up, get into management there. If you don't just treat it like a temp job and you actually stick around and work hard. But, the lifers there, they're making great money doing what they're doing. They don't have to be some fancy college degree or anything like that. They went right straight to it. And the difference is yes, it is potentially possible that with college degrees you could be thinking some, but you look at Amazon, everybody loves it. Everything comes from Amazon. That's warehouses and warehouses full of people moving boxes. Somebody's got to do it. And at a certain point, at first, the sad thing though is there's a bunch of people working in those that have college degrees for something different. And not only are they not getting what that college degree, what they thought they were going to get paid there, they're working that manual labor job and they're paying off crushing debt. And so that's what the thing, because certainly it's supply and demand. If you were an economics major, and a business major, you would learn these things. Or if you become a business owner, you just learn these things. Is supply and demand. If too many people get degrees in an industry that doesn't need that many people, what ends up happening is they have to then go in, work other degrees, other things that they're not, because somebody has to move the boxes. Somebody's got to package the burgers. Somebody has to plow the fields, and somebody has to fix the locks. That's just how it is. And if nobody's becoming a locksmith, one of my big concerns is that I am the second youngest. The youngest is 2 years younger than me, and the next youngest after me is like a good 10 years older than me in my area. Okay, I'm 38, about to be 39. I'm almost 40. Most of my competitors are in their 50s. There's one guy that's 36, 37, something like that. And there's no apprentices. Nobody has apprentices. There is no next generation coming up in my area. And I would look at that and I go, what happens when I get to 60? If there's no up and comings, because I started when I was 21. It's just one of those things. Like there's no 21-year-olds. My company used to hire 16, 17-year-olds as apprentices. People that that were good kids. They could train them up. They train them slowly. They learn the shop stuff. Then eventually they're going out into customers' houses and they get trained. People don't do that anymore. No, why? Because I'm going to go to college, or I'm going to go on YouTube and I'm going to make a bunch of money on YouTube, which is that's a whole other thing. I'm making videos on YouTube. I have no grandeur of this actually becoming an income for me. this. But I just thought that for my very first South Park, this just, I loved how this just like all came together, and it showed this is how it is. These situations, this is exactly how people respond to us, and this is exactly like the shattering of like, no, I have lots of customers. I don't have to help you. You know, if you don't respect my time, if you don't respect the fact that I'm busy and think that you're the most important person in my relationship, then you can find another locksmith. And, you know, I'm a bit more polite than that, but there's at a certain point it's like, hey, this is what it is, and I've got to be true to my word. I said I was going to come and do this for this person. That's how it all works out. And this focus on a society that is so focused on eliminating the trades, on everybody going in higher education and all this stuff, we're valuable, and people don't know how to do stuff. It's like everybody just doesn't know how to do stuff anymore, because they took shop class, they took wood class, all this stuff out of schools, and now people don't know how to do stuff. So, with that, I know this one went long. Usually these looking at Hollywood are much shorter, but this one, I just had a ton of thoughts. If you've made it to the end of the video, I thank you for listening. What are your thoughts on the matter? Because I know these are complicated issues. You know, I'm coming at it from one angle, that of a locksmith's experience, but do you have any thoughts on it? Let me know in the comments below, and I will catch you in the next video.